1945, July 16th, Monday, 5 in the morning on the dot. Unknown to all but about 400 people present at Los Alamos, humanity is suddenly thrust into the nuclear age as the first atomic bomb, nicknamed the Gadget, explodes on the test site of the Jornada del Muerto, the Journey of Death. At first, the scientist who had spent upwards of 3 years working on this technology celebrated in being able to witness its creation. However, once the initial high of success wore off, the existential threat of this weapon loomed over the heads of the group. J. Robert Oppenheimer, a prominent scientist at Los Alamos during the Manhattan Project, later recalled in a 1965 NBC documentary that, upon seeing its detonation, he couldn't help but think of a phrase from the Hindu scripture.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
(2012), December 21st, Friday. What if there was more Christmas? Lemon Demon's holiday-themed EP, I Am Become Christmas, has not only been a yearly listen during the holidays, but an all-year-round listen for me ever since I first heard it. It has a vibe that's really unmatched, blending together absurd concepts with upbeat tunes, all the while somehow remaining serious enough to be disturbing at some parts. Every song on here holds a special place in my heart, and with that being said, I want to dissect each of them. So let's get started. Christmas Will Be Soon is about how culture changes in ways that can be seen as frightening.
We must not fear this as it grows near. Christmas will be soon, luring like the moon.
The song starts out innocently enough, with a proclamation that it's going to be Christmas soon. At this, the typical listener is likely to be reminded of happy childhood memories of gathering with family and exchanging gifts, or just general experiences of being in winter. However, this connotation with the happiness of the season is juxtaposed with an almost foreboding message surrounding it. Why would we be in fear so much that the speaker needs to calm us down? And the connection to the moon almost creates a picture of something slowly creeping in and draining all the light from the sky. So how is it that Christmas is portrayed like this? We'll need to dig a little deeper.
Cut down our twig, shrine sit round the big pine beneath the star. This is who we are.
Again, here, the holiday of Christmas is replaced with something almost foreign. The speaker describes it as if it's some unknown ceremony they're participating in, and it takes a bit to realize they're just describing a Christmas tree. It takes on a completely different tone when explained like a completely alien concept. Additionally, the last line almost implies that the speaker is either propagating this message or is under the influence of a higher power to spread it. Either way, the ritual is enforced on the speaker and the audience in a way that they must make it a part of their identity. Thus, this is who we are.
Let's stop burning Yule logs in faith of fools. Gods our kids won't know. Idols come and go.
This section finally shows what the rest of the song has been building to. The Yule Festival was a part of a group of winter celebrations that were eventually combined and turned into modern-day Christmas. With this in mind, the song suddenly takes on a more somber tone, and is especially heavy in this section. When culture shifts, whether intentionally or not, there is a monumental shift between the generations that grew up with it and the generation that doesn't. The last line here wistfully proclaims that idols come and go, almost as if it's a fact of life that, no matter how much they want to, the speaker cannot escape. Imagine how much of the tradition was lost due to it being replaced by Christmas, and imagine how it must have felt being right on the edge of knowing it and erasing it. This takes the foreboding nature of this song and transforms it into something sadder. The speaker isn't a part of this tide, but instead must soothe everyone with them in hopes to make the transition smoother. On a broader level, Christmas will be soon represents how we take our own culture for granted, as knowledge that is easy to obtain today can be just as easily obscured by time. When one is faced with this fact, it's easy to be scared, because even if there are happy memories made down the line, they won't be yours, and no one will be able to tell the difference. Aurora Borealis is a song about a person who is trapped in the never-ending cycle of apocalypse, trying to reach out and find love.
Beneath apocalyptic snowflakes from above, we're not in peril, we are in apocalypse.
The first verse sets up the setting of this story, an apocalypse. One could even argue that it's specifically a nuclear apocalypse, since the snowflakes mentioned here could be a reference to the concept of a nuclear winter, where soot covers the sky and prevents heat from entering the atmosphere as easily. Either way, the setting gives way to the speaker's personal situation, finding love. They, and whoever the speaker is talking to, have, in these trying times, found a way to connect, and thus the end of the world is more of a treat than a disaster.
It's okay, I've done this tons of times, well maybe once a year since I was very young.
This absurd premise of finding love at the end of the world is then justified by the pre-chorus, where the speaker explains that this isn't the first time they've gone through this. The later line,
as if anything could go wrong on Christmas Eve,
when combined with this section, shows that this seems to happen the day before Christmas every year for this speaker. Though it's played off for a more lighthearted song, it's undeniable that the speaker has likely been worn down over the years of having to endure this, which makes the struggle to find and keep love that much more dire for them. Furthermore, though the evidence to this theory isn't as strong, this whole cycle could potentially symbolize the agonizing wait between Christmas Eve and Christmas morning that many children go through. Seeing parts of the night one normally never sees while fighting for it all to stop so that time can go by that much faster could be seen as something strange and terrifying under a certain light. It's at least unbearably difficult to try to soothe oneself to sleep in both situations.
I can barely see you now, but your smile is a frown. Yeah, I knew it had to stop, because I always mess it up. And I get it if you run, I just had to share with someone.
In the outro to the song, the speaker sees their mission fail. Their partner rejects this experience, and at the end of the world, both drift apart. Though the speaker tried to be as accommodating as possible, it just wasn't destined to succeed. And I know I shouldn't try to look for a deeper meaning in a Lemon Demon song, but I just can't help it. This situation symbolizes the plight of trying to find human connection despite past traumas. Whether the speaker is rejected or not, they're fearful that this baggage that they've carried with them all their life will scare the other person away. However, in trying to be accommodating actually ends up making it worse because the other person isn't prepared when it does come up. The speaker explains that the whole reason they brought their partner along to this was because they had to share with someone, which is a common experience when one goes through something horrible. Whether it's just to spread the message, vent, or just confirm that it isn't all in your head, people need to speak what they've gone through. As a whole, Aurora Borealis is a song about a repeating apocalypse and a love story gone awry, told from the perspective of the person that has to deal with the aftermath of both.
And I get it if you run, I just had to share with someone.
Sad is a very blatant depiction of seasonal affective disorder and how it can cause one to feel as if winter is the worst time of year.
Every winter, I'm a wreck, yes. Miss my family. Merry Xmas.
The first few lines immediately take us into the bleak experience the speaker has with the colder season. They put into blunt terms that they aren't feeling well, then almost sarcastically wish the audience a Merry Christmas, not even bothering to say the full word. For clarification, seasonal affective disorder is a type of depression that's caused by the changing seasons. It can have a summer onset or fall onset, but either type is triggered by the complex shift in chemicals when the climate changes. Even for people without this condition, winter can be seen as an especially lonely season, as most people tend to stay inside, and even the landscape is either barren of plant life or simply covered in a monotonous white. However, depression can amplify these feelings, making sufferers feel as if they're never going to recover and as if any minor thing is going to ruin their day.
We have a saying back in my hometown: When you're feeling down, sunshine fixes everything. But here, winter is getting longer, everything's frozen still.
The rest of the song mainly expands on these initial ideas, showing that the speaker is and has been well aware of their condition. They think back to some advice and lament how it seems like winter can kill almost every part of their life. This old saying, which clearly has a lot of power in the speaker's eyes, is snuffed away by the shortening of days. Additionally, like I mentioned before, the colder months can change a lot in the environment, making everything feel as if it's frozen still. If someone's suffering from a mental illness, this change can prove devastating because there might not be as many support systems in place anymore. Sad takes a break from the more supernatural side of Lemon Demon's Christmas outing and sheds light on a very real battle many people have to face during everyone else's most wonderful time of the year. CryptoSanta tells a tale about a scientist whose experiment to tap into Santa's gift-giving powers goes disastrously wrong.
Classified project moving light, privately funded silent night, North Pole Station satellite, red and white, laser beams are focusing, converging on a tyrant king.
The first verse sets up the world of this song. Though the perspective may be skewed, Santa is portrayed as a tyrant, hoarding presents and only giving them out come Christmas time. To juxtapose Santa's typically old-fashioned portrayal, the verse also introduces the very modern concepts of a secret project to study this phenomenon.
With a little bit of brains, maybe we can do away with the lack of candy canes, make Christmas every day.
The second verse explains the point of this experiment, to harness Santa's powers for humanity. Again, I probably shouldn't think too deeply about a Lemon Demon song about an evil Santa, but I feel like the real villain in this story is the greed of humanity. I'm sure that whoever is, privately might I add, funding this project is just seeing dollar signs in their eyes when they hear of a real-life stash of gifts. No matter what the song may speak of the speaker's intents, the real motivator behind this song is the collective effort of larger powers who see it worthwhile to pursue this, and I can guarantee that the motivations behind any large power in capitalism is going to be morally gray at best. Anyways, back to a silly song about Santa or whatever.
I walked through the path of the beam. At first I thought I was okay, but overnight, my hair turned white. I've been gaining weight, involuntary spasms, like a bowl full of jelly, outbursts of laughter.
In the latter half of the song, we see the hubris of the speaker end up getting him in a freak accident. Whatever technology they were using has caused him to start transforming into the jolly old man himself. You could even say, he is become Christmas. Anyways, the speaker describes gaining attributes that are typically associated with Santa Claus, that being white hair, a large belly, and a tendency to laugh joyously. In this context, these changes are seen as horrific in how fast and unnaturally they happen. In an ironic twist of fate, he has become the very thing he so abhorred in the beginning of the song. Against his will, he is thrust into the same position, on the opposing side, that he was just in days before. In this newfound position, what else more is there to say but
Merry Christmas!
In 2021, this album got a re-release with updated album art and contained all new masters of each song. Considering I've gotten used to the old 2012 mix of I Am Become Christmas, listening to this new version for the first time almost made it feel like I was hearing a brand new album. The remasters bring out a whole new sound from the album, emphasizing some instruments that may not have been very prominent in the original versions, and overall bringing a more dynamic atmosphere to the album. It astounds me to think just how many people had to work in order to get this made. Of course, I'm a big Lemon Demon fan, but it wasn't just him who worked on this. Ming Doyle made both versions of the album cover, the lovely team over at Needlejuice arranged physical releases, while the ever underappreciated manufacturing and postal systems had to make and distribute them, and Angel Mark Lloyd of Angel Hair Audio worked tirelessly to make a truly wonderful master. It seems like a nearly impossible task to achieve when you think about it, but through the collective efforts of so many people, here I am able to enjoy this silly little Christmas album. Speaking of collective effort, I also wanted to take the last couple of minutes of this video to shine light on some of my favorite fan content to come out of this EP. The animator Biona not only has an iconic music video for Aurora Borealis that I personally feel should be mandatory viewing for any fan of Lemon Demon, they also made an animation to go along with the EP's instrumental opener, Prelude to Presence, which expands on their small Lemon Demon cinematic universe, as well as visualizing the song in a really unique way. While she's more well-known nowadays for her But Really Fast recap series, I personally really enjoy Viva Reverie's kinetic typography music videos, and there is indeed one for Christmas Will Be Soon. Not only is the style super sleek, she also animates some of the words to the beat and comes up with unique ways to shift everything around to make a simple lyric video feel way more alive. Though it's not been in my radar, I've known of the game Rhythm Doctor for a while, and while browsing for more I Am Become Christmas content, I came across a fan-made level by Loyal McTinfoil made for Aurora Borealis. Though a lot of it goes over my head, I can tell a lot of care went into this, and there's even a mini-story of someone discovering the true power of this EP, that being, it contains the greatest Christmas music known to man. Another animator Wiki4 has come to my attention as of late, and their animation of Sad comes to mind as something that has no right to be as good as it is. Their character design is so cute, and the complexity of animation is frankly astonishing for a 4-minute music video created just by one person. I also found a surprising amount of CryptoSanta remixes and covers, including Aim the Rain's hilarious CryptoSanta But It's Normal, Jadakin's surprisingly jarring CryptoSanta But It's in 4/4, and Nilsys Microwave's horrifically beautiful CryptoSanta But the vocals are way too loud, the unfamous Radish's nearly spot-on vocal cover, and Travis's frankly unfairly professional full cover. All of these and more add up to a haphazard creation that continues to breathe new life into this EP. Though our time here is done now, I encourage you to go watch these videos and maybe make your own, either on this album or on anything you're passionate about. Artists like Lemon Demon absolutely deserve the credit for the work they do, but so do the artists that add their own personal flair to the original works in ways that add a new kind of depth and foster a real sense of community. I encourage you to rejoice in whatever groups you're a part of, and make sure to find joy in everything you do. Thank you, and have a good day.